that. Okay, now if I draw, you can see this, yeah?
Yeah.
Gonna talk over this one, gonna look at Ilios because I forgot what happened,
By the way,
and...
I can also see the Epic Games.
Huh? Oh, yeah, that. Get rid of that. This was kind of weird. I think somebody forgot the TP or something. A certain Peter. So this is more or less okay. I mean, eating this purple is kind of bad. I'd like for you to at least jockey for this position, because you're kind of out of range here. You know, I can see why you're doing this, but at least if you're here, like, if you just look at it from above, right? If you play here, everything's coming in a straight line, right? Whereas if you come here,
Yeah.
you get like a mini, at least some kind of angle, and if they dive you on this side, you can always leak out, and you have plenty of resources to keep you alive. Plus, just playing here uh, puts your orbs in a little bit better range to fire at. Like, this is not the best formation that I really want to see. I can see why being here is a little dangerous if they just hard dive you with bubble, but I think you should be fine given what you're running. All right, you got a Reaper pretty much sitting on top of you in any second. Just try to be a little more assertive. Right, because they're giving you a lot of space. Like, you could definitely stand here. You could even go as far as this, and even if they dive you, like, you can back out pretty easily. The big issue here, Amaan, is guarding for the monkey dive is totally fine right now because you got really nothing better to do up until this point. But as soon as Peter gets to here, you got to TP in. Right, you got to look to like TP probably right here. You got to be in with this guy because you're. The previous matches I was looking at, you were early a lot. Now you're kind of biasing towards being late because Peter's in. He's about to do something, and you're not in range. Right, and you can.
Really, I should probably start pushing at this point.
Yeah, you should have gone also. You're also late,
Yeah.
right? But like you're late, Maman. You're late because you didn't TP. You're late because you're still playing back here. Like you should have been here at this point, right? Because when Peter's in like this, you're just like, if he dies me, I don't care at this point, right? You have to go and put your body in, so that you can pinch. Because they're all
Yeah.
sitting in a clump. Like if these guys are smart, they would leak out an Ash on the side and fight for the off angle. They're not doing that because they're not playing angles. They're just sitting in a clump. So this is the easiest pincer ever, right? You just walk it to this point, like you mirror Peter, right? As Peter's getting closer, you also get closer. It's like the like you play the Jaws theme in your head. Dun 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 dun. Peter gets to here, you're here. Peter gets to here in hook range, you're here, right? And if at that point they jump on you and they force the issue, then you have to absorb them. You know, maybe then it kind of depends on what's going on. Maybe you have to pull back. Maybe you hang in there and wait for Peter to go do something. But you have to do something. You have to start pressing in so you're actually able to put pressure on the enemy team at this point. Because this guy's about to do something. These 5 people are not in range.
Yeah.
Right? And this desync is what's causing us a lot of problems. So most of us are very late. Andrew's kind of late too, but I mean he's got range, so Andrew can stand here. It doesn't matter, but the rest of you guys need to be closer.
The objective is now active.
Right, you see, Amon, how the fight basically already happened, and you haven't fired a shot yet. You're just too late. Like Peter, I want you to stay here a little bit longer. You're up 1, and Amon's with you now. There's no reason for you to. Oh man, you're capping, but you can just let Andrew cap. Right, go for it. Yeah, so this happens because you're late, Amon. Right, you're late, and then you end up here, and then they start pushing you after Peter already leaves, and then you get forced out. Okay, you gotta try to reestablish this angle now. I'm not really sure why you're pulling back here, Peter. I need you to stay on Amon's side. Because this is not really your fault. This is the problem of 2 guys not being in position. I want to see what Amon does here. Because Amon's out of position again. Okay, you're taking a road trip here. I'm not really sure why you would sit here, because if you're expecting him to come out left door, you definitely want to be a little closer, like here anyway, and you're just a little... Huh?
Didn't he just TP up? He was below earlier.
He just TP'd up. Yeah, but now he's going to wait here for them. I would like him to be a little bit closer because now he's gonna realize that they're not coming left side and he's gonna take way too long to get in position. Right. Also, somebody needs to say like, "Hey, they're going right." I think someone does, but now he's late. So in an ideal world, right? This guy stays somewhere over here. This guy also stays somewhere over here. You don't just have to be so far back as this. You can even go like maybe hog here because he's got the hook range, and you just camp your Reaper like somewhere around one of these pillars. Right, you just camp your Reaper somewhere here maybe. Right, so your hog's threatening from that door. You just camp your Reaper here. If they go left, great. You know, and if they go well, they're left, you're right. Then what happens is if they go this door, right? They go this door. What do you have to do, Tony? If you're standing here?
I need to push forward just to like alleviate pressure.
Yeah, which direction?
Would it be the mega or like near the?
Yeah, you do
that
this.
direction?
In fact, I would say you should probably just start here. You know, you're playing Reaper and a Hog. You're gonna guard this door. You should just actually start here. The fact that you're playing so far back to begin with and just giving them the space is not good. Right, if you block this monkey, if you just block him into here with a crossfire, Hog on one door, Sig on the other door, and you don't let him get out for free, it's gonna be much harder for them to fight you. But the fact that you're starting here and everybody's starting so far back, like I want you here, and I want the support line like here, right? Like just push your concave way further up than this, so that your front line's like this, your back line's like this, and maybe you have your Hanzo here, right? So that your bracket is this now. Because you're still playing for the neutral bracket, which is too far back. Gotta be more assertive on this. Anyway, this becomes a mess because we're just starting to fight out of position. Peter dies. Right, none of this really matters anymore. So, timing, really important, right? If you got a team member who's flanking around, like your Reaper or somebody, and you see them get in range, right? Like your Tracer, your Hog's getting in range for the flank, and you're the Reaper or you're the Sig, you got to start pushing up as they're getting in range. You can't just sit there and watch them do stuff, right? You can't just be like, hey, Peter, hit a hook, and the rest of us will just spectate. No, once he starts getting in range, you start cheating up also. And then knowing where you're actually trying to contest before the fight starts, because this is kind of that problem that we had before, Tony, where you just sit here and watch the fight happen. You have to understand that with the heroes you're playing, you want to be up front, right? You want to be close.
Yeah.
We don't want to let this double bubble out. Okay, how are we gonna take this? So one guy has to flank. Peter's flanking. This is good. Amaan is flanking. This is good. Okay, so now they're about in range. This is fine. So far, so good. I think this dragon might be a little early. It gets you space though. It's okay. Okay, so we're flooding in from 2 doors. Let me look at the timing here. So this is good, okay? This says we're
gone out the other door, by the way. Should I have just gone out the door
like
that was like shooting out
this
of?
door?
Yeah.
Which
I
door
feel
is
like
better?
I'm getting too close to Peter where I'm going.
So
where I
because
actually should go.
because Peter's doing this, I think coming here is fine. If
Okay.
Peter were to go out here, right, do this, then you would do this. But the fact that Peter's going this door, if we talked about this in the last review, but if you actually go take such a far angle that you can't see him anymore, it's too easy to isolate you, right? And then Peter would just die if they jump him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's only a bracket if you can support both ends of it. Like you have to be able to see him and shoot whoever's jumping on him for it to be a proper bracket. Otherwise, you're just splitting in 2 directions. So this idea, I would say, generally is pretty good. This guy can kind of do whatever he wants. Because this says that we're thinking now. Right? We're not just all going to flood into one door and hope for the best. So I generally like this. I think let's look at how the timing's worked out. Because Peter's about to be in range, and we are very far from this door. I think we need to be a little more assertive in getting forward. Because when Peter's here, like look where Peter is, right? We need to actually be ready to go at this point. So for that reason, I think that the dragon's a little bit early. Because we're throwing the dragon, we're not actually ready to go yet. Yeah, so Peter's committed. Nobody else really is. Right? Like this is the stuff that we have to clean up to play against higher ranked teams. Like, as in, this is 4.3, 4.4 level team play stuff, right? One guy's in 2 seconds before the rest of the team. This is going to screw you over against teams like UCSD. I'm on your late again. It's more like your entire team is late, but I don't think this is necessary. I think, if anything, you just TP here. So I'm gonna go back a little bit, Amon, because the timing is so important, right? So your team is about to commit. So if you gotta TP, just TP right here and just shoot them from the top or drop on them, right? You can just sit here, just get in and do something. If you're gonna wait a couple seconds, because the fight's happening now, right? Peter's going in, you're dragoning, like this is your chance to go do something. And the fact that you're gonna wait a couple seconds and TP across the map into a turret, that's gonna screw up your timing a little bit too much. It's gonna just be too late. Like you got to go in and make this supports not look at the monkey. And this becomes too expensive. You instantly get forced out instead of just having cover. Instead of having this to play against, where you can basically sit here forever and no one's gonna get you off this corner, you're gonna TP into open ground to a turret and you get forced out immediately. This is no good. So the setup was pretty good. Execution and timing was just off. We had one guy do an unnecessary extension across the map when you had perfectly good geometry to play against here. We had one guy who was a little bit early, but honestly the rest of you were just a little bit late because you should be a little bit further up. The dragon was a little bit early. You know, it's the general right idea, right? It's just we have to really refine the things on the order of 2 to 3 seconds of accuracy, right? It's not like, okay, before it was nothing, the things aren't happening in the correct order within even 5 or 10 seconds. Well, now, okay, things are roughly within the 5-second error margin. We got to tighten this down to about 2 seconds. Because you can see how Peter doesn't die, but he basically took a 1v4 for about 2 to 3 seconds, and then Amaan goes in and takes a 1v3 for 2 to 3 seconds, and that's not a 6v6, right? You have to go 6v6. This formation is good. Okay, we're thinking now. I like this. Andrew flips sides. Amaan ends up here, but he's like, okay, Andrew's flip sides, this is fine, right? This formation is very nice. We got to decide on which direction the supports are going to leak out of, because, yeah, that's the main thing, right? These guys have to pick a direction. I'd probably say this is going to be your best bet, because you want a little bit longer sight lines for the Zen. You don't want to be here and have a monkey jump right on top of you, so just pick a door. I'd say the where Peter's at, so you're going to go 4 and 2. This is probably better, so you can actually shoot that side. So you see how scared you're playing right now, Tony? You got to start going in.
Yeah.
Right, there's nothing really keeping you here. Like maybe a torp turret. Right, you got to get to this next corner and start really pressuring this guy, make him leave, and then turn the corner and start pressuring these people. Because we have the general idea of a concave that we want. Now we have to collapse this concave, right, and start pinching and pressuring what's on the inside of it. And the problem right now is you're playing so far back. I think you're out of range of this monkey, right? It's really hard for Peter to walk forward here. Please don't tell me you still have vape, Peter. 2 seconds. Just chill for a second, dude. Just vape yourself. You don't have to rush that. So that's a little bit bad on Peter. Okay, we're sending 2 supports left. This is fine. We're flanking one guy right. This is fine. It's just you're too far back. You have to put your body in there, put more pressure out. I understand you're like half health and you're a little bit scared. But what are you at right now? Like 4,300? 250. I mean, you're okay enough. Right? You're at a distance, right? You're at an okay enough distance. You'll take a little bit of risk here and start pinching. See how you basically, like, you've actually done so... You've taken no damage this whole time, so you've actually recharged your shields. So you're at 350 now, and you've gotten 0 healing. Because you have the 100 health pool that just recharges by itself. So you got to put your body up for it a little bit sooner. Because you didn't participate in this fight.
Yeah.
Again, the general idea, yeah, make a concave, leak out different doors, right? Like, this is good. Now we got to take this and start pressing, right? Especially this side. This side has to start pressing, pressuring point, make these guys turn around and look over here, and then that gives Peter space. Right? And then Peter goes in and hits a hook, they look at him, now that gives you space. We're going to juggle their attention. But you have to actually put your body inside at the right time, right? Don't just rush in and in, but you have to start walking forward and taking space for that to happen. Unfortunate. What is Amaan doing? Oh, you got slept. Lucky. Let's have a look at this. Okay, kill a Torb. Get a Mega. I don't think that Mega was worth getting him on. I think the time was more valuable. Like, I see why you did it, but I think the time is more valuable. Like, just getting pressure on this Ana sooner. You're gonna heal yourself a little bit by shooting her, right? And you're probably at what, 200? Like, I really want you to prioritize timing over everything. Did I go too far back? Okay, this is fine. Yeah, you're like 180. Like, you're fine. Right, you're 180 with your Wraith up. You gotta go and take space here. Because the time's more valuable at this point. It's gonna be a judgment call no matter what, but you're gonna solo, you're gonna 1v1 an Ana with your Wraith. You like those odds. Unless that happens, then you don't like these odds. But just really try to get your body in the right place in the right time and within range. On time, not too early, not too late, right? You're a little bit late now. You're on the opposite side of the curve. And we just gotta take that back a little bit, make you a little bit earlier so that you're right in the middle. Alright, set up these concaves, let's go. So Peter's on the right side, so you see that, you go left side, this is fine. These people need to go further up. Andrew, I would say you could, okay, with a monkey this is a little bit sketch, if you get jumped, so staying with your backline is probably fine. So in that case, you would want to push up a little bit harder here so that you can see both down that door and down this door, and then Amaan, in that case, you would flip right door. Right, because you don't want both your DPS looking down the same angle. So if Andrew's going to be on the left side, which is a perfectly fine position for him, you want to be with Peter. If Andrew was standing here, then you would be on this side. Standing here is a little bit sus because he is in dive range of the monkey, a little bit too close. But now, like, the right side is super weak now, right? They just run into Peter, he dies because we're not... These guys are not close enough to do something, to help enough, right? You're playing a little bit too scared right now, Ian. Just play this, right? You can see everything you need to see here, and you have plenty of cover to back up if you need to. And we have to get the Reaper on this on the right side. You have to look and see where your team is standing, because right now we're overloading this side too much in a straight line. And we have to spread this out and widen this. Right, and all it takes is putting the Reaper on this side. That's all it takes. And the other reason why you want to be here is if they start shoving Peter on the left and he starts leaking this, like... Oh, crap. You have to be ready to hard crash this if they shove Peter, right? If Peter and Amaan get shoved to this corner, you have to be close enough to actually shove this door. Right? So Tony's going to be here already. But if they push, right, the backline guys need to be ready to like go in and spam their backline. Right? We can't just let Peter get forced out. Or at the very least, if they chase Peter around the corner, you stand here and you shoot them. Like Peter gets to here, they round the corner and they get discorded and volleyed. Right, from this direction. You have to be close enough to do that. From here, you're a little too far. So it's just about deciding where you're going to bracket. That's it. We have differing opinions right now. Tanks are in the right spot. Force squishies have differing opinions. Like Amaan, you gotta help him out. Okay, this is... Good dragon, because Peter's in trouble. You should have been there sooner, Amaan, but great idea. So Ian, what can you see from here? Basically nothing. Right? So this is what I'm talking about, right? If you're here, and they round this corner, they're going to take a lot of shots. Or at this point, you could feel free to push up with Tony, because they are not... I mean, they're going to run into Peter, right? At this point. And you can reasonably assume that, because Peter just got slept on the right side, and you don't see anybody here on the left side. So you could probably even get a little bit greedier. If you don't want to be that greedy, at least be here. But a lot of the times, a lot of your problems are on Zen, or because you're playing too far back, you're not contributing. Poor Peter. Okay, what happens here? I know I'm getting kind of nitty gritty on this, but it is really important. Yeah, so first of all, Tony, you're gonna be a little closer to the door. You know, like actually just start shooting in. Um, so as soon as that happens, Tony, like, are you aware at this point that Peter got slept?
I actually don't remember. But I'm
Okay,
assuming I should just shove it from the left door.
you should be a little more aggressive here
Yeah.
to begin with, and then if you see that Peter is slept, right, you got two options, which is just to really hard aggro this so that they're forced to come at you instead of him. Um, or you can like throw a shield at him and hope for the best. I think it's better for you to just aggro this way and make sure that if they start running left side, you're just rocking their backline and shooting them. But this is again, you're giving them way too much respect on this door, right? Just play here. Like be in a position where you can kind of AD and just shoot into the door. You're not getting any damage on target right now.
Yeah.
Also, this would not be a bad time to flux because you have flux in this point, and it's like okay, Peter
Yeah.
gets slipped. If they rush him, you walk this side and you flux him as they like basically you turn this into your advantage, right? He becomes your bait. They all go this side, you flux this. But you have to have something, some play in mind because you can't just watch Peter get slipped and go like, he'll be fine.
I don't
Right?
exactly remember my thought process. I feel like I might have been thinking of fluxing, but I think Andrew called that he was dragging it, so I just left it.
A flex into a dragon is perfectly good play too. You shouldn't count on the dragon to instantly get kills. Like
Yeah.
I want you to practice being more proactive and thinking about what you can do because there's a lot of just sitting here watching this stuff happen. Right? You see how they just walk in? They're just gonna walk in for free. Like you're not even gonna throw a rock in here. And I'm pretty sure you still have it. Yeah, you have all your cooldowns, right? You can absorb a lot of aggro here and make sure they can't just run Peter over. But you're not even gonna try to rock this. So I do like if you rocked and shot this. Okay, Ash probably doesn't die, but you're probably gonna get 100 damage on the Ana and the Torb. Right? If they even get tickled by the dragon, they just die. At the very least, it'll slow them down so Peter just doesn't get killed. But yeah, this rotation for me is not good. Okay, it's a mess. So you reestablish your flank after going this. You're like, oh wait, I shouldn't be here, and you go back here. Like this is good. This is good that you were aware of this, but you need to be here sooner. It's like this is good positioning. But this is after you went back, realized that you fucked up, and you doubled back. So just push that door earlier. But you get props for realizing that you would rather be here than hard stacking Peter because you're gonna get more value this way. A little bit sketchy. You're in the room now. Okay, we'll make it work. Okay, probably one more fight here. I don't think I'm gonna see anything different at this point on this map. Okay, we got a 2 and a Ian. Like this is no good, dude. You gotta be forward. Otherwise, reasonable positioning. Okay, so you can feel that they're pushing you, right? So now that like when they're pushing this through and you kite, this is fine. These guys are pushing. This is good. This is what you should have been doing for them. You see this, Tony? Right?
Yeah.
They push you. You kite appropriately, but then they fill in the gap, right? They start backfilling behind, and they're gonna make sure that they can't just run at you for free. Now you got to return the favor for these guys, right? If they start, if Peter gets pushed in the future, and you just stand here and just look at him sleep, he's gonna be rightfully very upset with you because you're gonna be like, "Yo, man, where's my backup?" So this is a good play from the right side, and this is a reasonable, like a good read from you. It needs to happen on both sides, right? You see what I'm saying? Where if they go this way, you also got to crash in.
Yeah.
And preferably, if you're gonna crash in, you even want to consider taking your Zen with you. A little bit sketchy again because they're running double bubble dive. So I understand if you want to play back here, but at least you have to crash in.
Bob, do something.
Okay, why did we not get as much out of that as we would have liked? Let me look at this real quick. This is a good kite path, by the way. The fact that you go this way instead of this way, now they're forced to divide attention. But right, we talked about this before. I don't know if was this intentional or was this like just in the spur of the moment.
I really don't remember my thought process.
Okay. Well, in general, if you know your backline is here, right? Well, we talked about this with your monkey, right? Like when you jump, don't jump towards your backline because now you're giving them all their birds in one basket. Like you don't want this guy to throw a bob and have all 4 guys in the same spot, right? You want to retreat into a concave, right? Because now you're turning retreat into a tactical retreat. Instead of retreating in a straight line and you're just in a clump, you're going to die. You're turning a retreat into, okay, we have this and this. And now you've retreated into a bracket that they have to then push into. So this is actually good. If this wasn't intentional, make it intentional in the future. Okay? Make sense?
Yeah.
That being said, I think your backline was too far back in the beginning. Right, like you can't do anything from, you can't see enough from here, guys. I need you guys to be here. Once you read this, you can start backing up. Right, you got time to back up once you start reading this. Like just play here. Okay, we see that they're all going this door. Okay, now maybe you want to start backing up, but not too far because you still want to be able to shoot these guys. So this is fine right now.
Bob, do something.
Nice whip. All right. Yeah, I think the timing was actually okay in there. I mean, you were playing really far back before, but being here as this is happening, I think it's fine. It's really just because they have a monkey. If they didn't have a monkey, I'd actually want you to be here the whole time, right? If they don't have any kind of dive tanks. If they're running like a Ryan or a double shield, just play further up. It's only because they're running monkey with a Zarya where you can't just whip shot the monkey away that you want to be a little bit further back. I'm gonna look at what happened here real quick. So anyway, good job, Tony. You get purpled. So both of you guys hard exit. Why does that happen? Then you start pushing.
Bob,
Amaan. Okay. Are you trying to go for a blossom?
Turret ahead.
Bob.
Down.
Yeah, man. I think if you literally just sit here and shoot them without committing your wraith into that, I think you would have been fine. This is your cooldown fidgeting habit again, where you feel like you have to press your cooldowns, even if they're not really not the best time to use them. You just sit here and you shoot these guys, right? If you just stand here, you shoot them. Peter gets a hook, you kill this guy, and you just stand here and you make sure the Alna can't cross. This is totally fine, right? Because now these guys are going to take on a 3v5 or 3v4 on the side. But you put your body in there, you blow your wraith, and then you leave. When you need to stay on this angle and make sure this, like now, like you see how the backline's gonna walk in now. If you were just here, you kill this guy and you make sure these guys can't go. So now you're out of position again. Right? You had the right setup and you didn't have the discipline to stay there and realize that you have to hold this angle. So this leave was no good. Peter almost dies for it too. What is this? This is horrendous. I do not know why you came this far back. It's completely unnecessary. Because you can just follow these guys in and just become a menace in their backline indefinitely. So yeah, good from you here, Peter, or not Peter, Tony. Peter had the right idea. Amaan, I'm not gonna lie, dude. You kind of tossed this fight. You didn't get pressure on their backline as they're rotating, and it really forced these guys to go really far back. So yeah. Giving up your angle and then leaving the fight, like you're basically dead right now, and you have no reason to be here, right? You're effectively dead. Your team's taking a 5v6, and they're probably gonna lose. So I know I'm kind of beating this fight to death, but it's really important to see how we're really close to having the right concepts in place, and they're just our execution mid-fight is we're shooting ourselves in the foot. There's no reason to do this, right? Like you have the tendency a lot of Mon to just teleport across the map, and your position here is totally fine. Just hold it. Okay, Bob's done. Dude, you're playing so scared, Ian. You gotta stand here and shoot people. You're playing so scared right now. Because I don't know what you can see of anything. You have trans, right? You have trans and a brig on you. Like you really got to be a little bit further forward. Okay, I guess the Bob can still see you, but I mean, you can stand here and shoot the monkey. I mean, you can do something other than this. Because you're AFK right now. So just too much unforced retreats, right? This is an unforced retreat. These are unforced retreats. You're roughly in the right spot. This was a forced retreat because Peter got purple and was literally 1 HP. But that's because Amaan's out of position. So don't need to be doing this. Alright, Peter makes a big play, and then now they can't touch. So yeah, hopefully you can see, I mean, this, I think we won this map pretty comfortably, but even that was with a couple of pretty major positioning errors, and it's really, a lot of it's, some of it's pre-fight, right, like when you were set up here instead of here, Tony, but a lot of it's like mid-fight, like you need to push it on this door when they go to the opposite door. If Amon's set up on this door, right, he really needs to just use the map geometry and hold his position until they make him leave, because if you leave without being forced to, you're giving them a gift. You're giving them space that they don't deserve. Okay, make them work for it. I think I'm just gonna look at this
Ready
next
for
point,
battle.
and then I gotta go, because I gotta go to rehearsal in
4,
15 minutes.
3.
How does this work out? Okay, you're hawking the ball. I think this is fine. So you're going left, right here. This is fine also. Man, how'd you take so much damage? Holy shit. This is a little bit less fine. I mean, it happens, but kind of conserve a bit more HP. Just got logged a little bit. It's fine. That was pretty unnecessary, Ben. Not really sure what happened there, but. Okay. Tony, you tell me what we could have done better here with the neutral. So this so far I like. Okay. Tell me what we could have done better.
I feel like it's just... Peter supports aren't really on, like, no, there's no one with the supports, are kind of just alone on the left right now.
Yeah, so who
So-
who misrotated?
Would it be Peter?
Yes. Alright, Peter. This is the right idea, where Tony gets the right side of pillar and you just kind of hawk this side. You can even flip this around. I would actually almost prefer you to be here, Tony, because Peter
Okay.
does not want to be looking at this open ground, right? Peter needs more cover than you. Peter needs to be threatening hooks from like these pillars,
Yeah.
this side, like doing all sorts of random shit. He's not very good at standing in the open and holding this down. So I think you
I'll
should.
keep that in mind.
Yeah, you guys. If there's like a choice between being who's on which side, you take the open side, right? And on top of that, your backline wants to be here, right? Your backline needs to play like you want to be. Two supports want to be here, and Andrew is totally fine doing this because he can climb up the wall on this side. But your backline doesn't really want to stand here, right? Your backline needs a bit more sightline. Your backline wants to be kind of towards elephant, and you're much better at keeping your backline alive than he is. So it's the right idea to split like this. The fact that your hog collapsed in and then gave the this sightline up got Ben killed. And to begin with, you should be here, Tony, instead of your hog. And
Yeah.
Ian, you're too far back, Ian. You're not doing anything right now. All right, just come over here. Come over here and play the elephants. Like you got plenty of help. Like this, you shouldn't be this afraid of a ball when you have a brig on you. Plus, the mon's hawking him. Anyway, that's unfortunate. Right, like you're not anywhere. Peter gets the hook. You're not anywhere near being in range for Discord volley. You gotta increase the size of your testicles. I'm not really sure why you're backing up here. So I'm looking at what's happening, and based on what you're seeing, right, you should feel pretty comfortable just either holding this or even going a little bit farther and pressuring the Zen. Do you know why? I'll go from your perspective. I know this is hard to. It's easier to talk about now, and it's hard to see in real time.
I don't think there was a specific reason for backing up. I was definitely debating going forward, but I think I just decided not to. I probably should have just stayed here.
You could have, at the very least, stay here and make sure that they can't cross into that opening. But I think you could have gone even start chasing their backline.
Yeah,
And the
like
reason,
watching from here, I think going forward might have been fine. I think I just felt like there was too much spam damage coming down.
well,
So I wasn't
here
confident.
you can't see this guy. You can't see this guy. Okay, but what do you see this guy looking at, and what do you see this guy looking at?
I mean, I knew the DPS were on that side, so I didn't like want to go in 1v3 them or anything like that.
Yeah, but who are they looking at right now? You see a DM here, right? So you got
Yeah, they're all focusing on Peter at
you
this
got
point.
at least 3 guys looking at Peter, right? And anybody who's on this side, you can reasonably assume is looking this way, not this way. So a big part of reading when to push and pull is feeling, and not just feeling, but seeing, right, where the enemy's attention is, and then knowing how to play off of that. Like if 4 guys are looking at you here, then yeah, you can't walk for it. But they're all looking at Peter, which means this is the opportunity, and not even the opportunity, but it's a mandate for you to walk forward. Because if you don't, he's gonna get run over. Right? You can't let Peter take a 1v4. Like he did his part. He hit a hook. He made some space. He pulled some attention. You got to go forward and try to hit a rock on these guys, right? Try to do something to then slow them down and make sure they can't just walk in for free. Right? You have to
Yeah.
read that. You have to read, like, if I were to zoom out, you have to read that all the attention and the sightlines are going this way. So you have a lot of space to come up and do whatever the hell you want. Once the sightlines swing back to you, right, then you pull back and come back to where you were. But that means Peter can then walk forward and do something. But we have to be a lot more proactive and really trying to feel for where the attention is, because there's no attention on you right now, right? A lot of your playstyle and all the problems we're having is you're perfectly okay with not being paid attention to, and especially as a tank, as any character really, like DPS or especially as a Zen, Ian, right? You want to pull a little bit of attention by shooting people, right? Right now you're really not doing anything. I understand why now because Ben's dead, but before Ben was dead, you should be a little bit further forward. But if no one's paying attention to you, especially as a tank, it's like, hey, that's your cue to do something, right? Go be a diva, like not literally like the character, but diva. Go do something that demands attention, so that takes pressure off of wherever they're focusing now, and it distracts them and makes them turn around and makes their decisions on how to take the map a little bit harder. Because now there's no attention on you, and you're keeping it that way. So there's way too much attention being applied to Peter, and you're not doing enough to take it off of him. Because right now, like you can just go 1v1 the Zen, he probably dies, right? Because nobody's paying attention to you or him.
Boosters engaged.
The objective.
So, we make it work. Okay, probably 1 or 2 more fights. Okay, 2 guys here. This is probably fine. It's a nice dragon. So they just die. Woohoo! I'm not really sure why they do they do this. This is an objectively worse door to come out of than the top one. It's actually kind of hard for you to deal with the top door because you don't have any vertical mobility. This is kind of a throw from these guys. But hey, what do we have here? 2 and 3. I like this. Once again, if you had to pick, I would probably prefer you to be on this side, Andrew to be peeking, and then your Roadhog to be doing something else, like, you know, Hawk in this area, maybe even over here. Because he needs to be in hook range, you know, and standing here looking at them from the front is not really going to do anything. And once you see that they're going out this door, like, if your Hog is here, you can really get really aggressive and start rotating into this pillar, right? Because now when he's here, he's really threatening this entire sightline where this sightline becomes really hard to cross. Which means I would like you to be here.
Yeah.
It's just thinking about what's gonna maximize everybody's role, right? Like the idea of making a bracket, looking at two different silos, either tanks. Good, we got that. Okay, now it's like, well, you have a Roadhog and a Sig. Is the Roadhog going to do more here or here? Well, he's going to do more here because that gives him the option to leak out, right? And you're going to do more here because that's going to protect your backline a little bit better. So these little conversations that you have to have with yourself. Because you playing that door, all you're doing is shooting your Hanzo. You're at a range.
Time to raise my APM.
and now they're walking in when they shouldn't be able to, right? Because there's no shield here. There's nothing absorbing the pressure for your backline. Your hog is not able to leak out and hook this, right? As they're crossing, your hog does not want to be in front of the enemy, right? If the enemy wants to do this, your hog does not want to be in that path. Your hog wants to be perpendicular to their path so they can so you can hook.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's generally the right idea. The details of the execution are a little bit off right now because we have the wrong people in the wrong place. Like we have people in general in the right places, but we have the wrong people in filling those slots, right, for what we're running. Amaan, you're out of position again. I think you should have realized by now that they're not here, which means you got to TP all the way over here a lot sooner. Right, this has to happen sooner. Because you're not reacting this soon enough. Unlucky. Let me just look at that one more time, just so I can be more specific.
Repositioning.
Okay, at what point do you realize they're not here? Okay. I think you should know that they're not here right now. Right, TP. Quick. You're just a couple seconds late. I mean, you can shoot the ball like twice, and once he starts rolling away from you, you're not going to do anything to him anymore. Just TP. Not the biggest deal in the world. It's the right idea, just a little bit late. So I liked how you're hanging out here, and you're threatening this. Like, I like how instead of just going back and stacking with your team and fighting this, you're hanging out here on the off angle, and you're demanding some attention. Do you see this?
Yeah.
It's just a tracer right now, but like you're at least putting some pressure on the off angle. But once again, for the people that you have, you really need to be here putting up your hands and your shield for these guys, and Peter needs to be here threatening the off angle, right? Like, Peter's not good at frontal attacks, whereas you're hanging out here with, okay, well, you just use hands, but you're hanging out here with pretty much with your entire shield up and a rock, and you're not there to keep these guys off your backline. So again, this general idea, good. General idea. We still have a concave to some extent. Ian's able to leak out on this side and play this back off angle, but we just don't have the right people in the right places because Peter cannot stop people from running him over, and you're much better at that. Just a scrappy fight, whatever. We win this? Jeez, what a mess. Okay, I think we just win this. Nice, good flux. Alright. Yeah, so the TLDR, and the reason why I really wanted to talk about this map, right, is as you're seeing, we're having a lot of situations where we're getting the concave idea right, where we're setting brackets, and we understand this as a team now, but we have to optimize a little bit better. The timing needs to get cleaner, right? Where we have that bracket, and then we start hitting the aggression at the same time, so we don't have one guy on one side in and four other guys sitting back sucking their thumbs. Can't have that. And then we need to optimize also the kits, right? Where we have the Sigma guarding the backline, taking more of the frontal pressure, and the Roadhog more free to leak out and do his thing in the backline. It'd be kind of like if you had a Ryan, if you had like a Ryan Diva or you had like a Ryan Sigma, then your Ryan sits here and then your Sigma leaks out, right? Because your Ryan's much better at hitting the frontal, taking the frontal aggression. You don't really want your Sigma here and then your Ryan's standing here looking at people. So yeah, that's all I have for now. I'm going to post this and hope that was useful.
Yeah.